Hi, Chris. Thank you for having me on your show again and for allowing me to talk about my latest release, Chocolate Ashtray EP. So the process of creating this EP is quite aligned with my debut album, so I feel I can pick things up where we left off when I broke down my album for you last year. I composed all the songs in my room again, and as I am in the process of writing my sophomore album, I can tell you this will remain the case for my next release. I started working on the songs of the EP as soon as the recording of my first album was over. I wasn't planning on releasing an EP then. I was just writing because I think because I can't help it really. And of course there are periods of my life when I'm not writing much, but all in all, I guess it's fair to say I write quite a lot of songs, and some come out into the world and some remain on my hard drive, and it's been that way for some time now. So what gives away the fact that the songs of this EP were written after the recording of my first LP is probably mainly the themes tackled by the lyrics. For example, Sideways the Way praises the road less traveled, which feels like where I always belong, away from any sort of hype and away from any sort of shortcuts to recognition. Writing this song was a way of fully embracing this idea, I think. And to convey this sense of acceptance, I wanted the music to be simple yet powerful. I mean, powerful emotionally. It became a ballad built around a B3 organ sound and a buzzy melody played by a Korg MS-20.
Don't I ever go to the place where it all starts? Don't I ever fly so high I lose touch with the ground? Sideways the way, the only way to keep my sight, blinded by the mind.
The theme of Sideways the Way resonates with the lyrics of Chocolate Ashtray, the lead single of the EP, which toys with the idea of merits. I find that most of the storytelling we hear is based on the idea of merit, and from merit comes a sense of entitlement that I'm always very suspicious of. There is also this idea that everything will straighten itself out if you keep on working and if you show yourself worthy and deserving. And many people, even left-wing people, are deeply attached to meritocratic values, I guess, even though time and again the world proves how biased they are and how luck seems to play a huge part in how paths are carved. Hence the recurring phrase in the song, it's all a crazy casino. And although there is some sort of darkness in the tune, I wanted it to be ironic and playful. With that in mind, I focused on the bass line and on the bass sound. I used a pick for the first time ever. I'm usually a finger player. But I wanted the bass to be in some sort of conversation with the synth, and the pick sound befitted this idea better than the finger sound. Because the synth is a string sound, strings played pizzicato, which sort of make things sound a bit bouncy.
Over and over and over again, I spin the wheel.
keep shifting. The song is the perkiest of the EP. I doubled the beat with a modified flexotone sound that makes the whole tune sound slightly cartoonish, I guess. And I think the result is some sort of spaced out kawaii tune, if that makes sense. The lyrics address the attention and care to others that people pleasers tend to have. Being a people pleaser, unfortunately, I know the paradoxical situation it puts you in, because on one hand it implies being overly interested in others to the point where you can forget yourself completely. But on the other hand, it has nothing to do with true selflessness. It's actually quite the opposite, I think, because the whole point is to adapt the way you behave in order for others to love you. I think that's why I like the idea of this tune being followed by Sideways the Way, which celebrates the finding of one's own path.
Desire, take a while, girl. The things you do to come through. All the cats can you face? What it is must be true. What I like won't splatter, as long as you light up the sounds that I make, and the words that I utter, and the words that I utter, the words that I utter. If you want me to, I'll say I do. It doesn't matter anyway. If you want me to, I'll say I do. It doesn't matter anyway. Different factors. When your pale blue eyes light up, tiniest projectors. I want to shine under. I will forget myself. I lose it into you. I won't even fly through. So what if I'm untrue? What if I'm untrue? What if I'm untrue?
I guess I have to say the context for this release was really different from any other stuff I'd released in the past. The plan was mainly to follow up on my album and not to wait for another 2 to 3 years to release something new. I had demos ready that I sent to my label, and they seemed really happy with them. So we decided to release this EP with some of the songs I sent them. And because I was so happy with the sound of my LP and the work we'd done with Alexis Fugain, who co-recorded and mixed it, I reached out to collaborate again, and I'm really glad I did. We did some overdubs for the bass and vocals in his studio, and he worked on the mix. I also wanted to include musicians I admire in the process, so I offered En Attendant Anna, Tapeworms and Ella Orleans to do some remixes of the tracks. I couldn't be happier with these remixes. And the EP was then designed as some sort of maxi single with my own tracks on the imaginary side A and the remixes on the imaginary side B.
Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's all crazy cause I'm fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting over gold. Married's a dream, one should forget this world, forget this world. It's all the crazy cause I know.
Fantastic remix of Chocolate Ashtray by En Attendant. That's it for me. Let's catch up again when my next release comes out, and please let me know your thoughts on Chocolate Ashtray EP. Cheers, Chris. Bye bye.